Hello everyone, welcome to Storyteller's Anthropology. Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. Today we are about to discuss primate study in human evolution. Introduction. Other primates of class Mammalia includes lemurs, tarsiers, monkeys, apes, and humans. Non-humans primates live primarily in the tropical or subtropical regions of South America, Africa, and Asia. They range in size from the mouse lemur at 30 grams 1 ounce to the mountain gorilla at 200 kilograms 441 pounds. The characteristics and evolution of primates is of particular interest to us as it allows us to understand the evolution of our own species. Definition. Even today, the classic definition of the order primate, propounded by Myvert 1873. Primates cannot be easily defined as they are characterized by a combination of primitive features and progressive traits. For instance, primates can be defined as under unguiculate, claviculate, placental mammals with orbits encircled by bony rims, 3 kinds of teeth at least at one time of life, brain always with a posterior lobe and a calcarean fissure, the innermost digits of at least one pair of extremities opposable, hallux with a flat nail or none, a well-developed cecum, penis pendulous, testis scrotal, always 2 pectoral mammae, Myvert 1873. Characteristics of primates. All primate species possesses adaptations for climbing trees, as they all descended from tree dwellers. This arboreal heritage of primates has resulted in hands and feet that are adapted for branchiation or climbing and swinging through trees. These adaptations include, but are not limited to, a rotating shoulder joint, a big toe that is widely separated from the other toes, and thumbs, which are widely separated from fingers, except humans, which allow for gripping branches. Stereoscopic vision, 2 overlapping fields of vision from the eyes, which allows for the perception of depth and gauging distance. Other characteristics of primates are brains that are larger than those of most other mammals, claws that other characteristics. Order primates is divided into 2 groups, prosimians and anthropoids. Prosimians include the bush babies of Africa, the lemurs of Madagascar, and the lorises, potos, and tarsiers of Southeast Asia. Anthropoids include monkeys, apes, and humans. In general, prosimians tend to be nocturnal in contrast to diurnal anthropoids and exhibit a smaller size and smaller brain than anthropoids. Evolution of primates. The oldest known primate-like mammals with a relatively robust fossil record is Plesiodaphis, although some researchers is not accepted that evolution of primates. The first true primates were found in North America, Europe, Asia, Africa in the Eocene epoch. These early primates resemble present-day prosimians such as lemurs. Evolutionary changes continued in these early primates, with larger brains and eyes and smaller muzzles being the trend. By the end of the Eocene epoch, many of the early prosimian species went extinct due to the changes. The howler monkey's picture. It is native to Central and South America. It makes a call that sounds like a lion roaring. Evolution of primates. Apes evolved from the Catarrhine in Africa midway through the Cenozoic approximately 25 million years ago. Apes are generally larger than monkeys and they do not possess a tail. All apes are capable of moving through trees. Although many species spend most of their time on the ground, apes are more intelligent than monkeys and they have relatively larger brains proportionate to body size. The apes are divided into 2 groups. The lesser apes comprise the family Hylobatidae including gibbons and siamang. The great apes include the genera Pan, chimpanzees and bonobos, gorillas, pongo, orangutans and homo humans. The very arboreal gibbons are smaller than the great apes. They have low sexual dimorphism, that is, the sexes are not markedly different in size, and they have relatively longer arms used for swinging through trees. There is a two picture. Number A, chimpanzee is one of the great apes. It possesses a relatively large brain and has no tail. B, all great apes have a similar skeletal structure. Modification of work by Aaron Logan. Credit B, modification of work by Tim Vickers. Human evolution. The family Hominidae of water primate includes the hominoids. The great apes evidence from the fossil record and from a comparison of human and chimpanzee DNA suggests that humans and chimpanzees diverged from a common hominoid ancestor approximately 6 million years ago. Several species evolved from the evolutionary branch that includes humans, although our species is only surviving member. The term hominin is used to refer to those species that evolved after this split of the primate line, thereby designating species that are more closely related to human than to chimpanzee. Hominins were predominantly bipedal and include those groups that likely gave rise to our species, including Australopithecus, Homo habilis, Homo erectus, and those non-ancestral groups that can be considered cousins of modern humans such as Neanderthals. Determining the true lines of descent in hominins is difficult. In years past, when relatively few hominin fossils have been discovered, some scientists believe that considering them in order from oldest to youngest would demonstrate the course of evolution from early hominins to modern humans. In the past several years, however, many new fossils have been found. It is clear that there is often more than one species alive at any one time, and that many of the fossils found and species named represent hominin species that died out and are not ancestral to modern humans. The next one is very early hominins. 3 pairs of very early hominins have made news in the past years. The oldest of these, Sahelanthropus chattanensis, have been dated to nearly 7 million years ago. There is a single specimen of this genus, a skull that was a surface find in Chad. The fossil, informally called Tomei, is a mosaic of primitive and evolved characteristics. It is unclear how this fossil fits with the picture given by molecular data, namely that the line leading to modern humans and modern chimpanzees apparently bifurcated about 6 million years ago. It is not thought at this time that this species was an ancestor of modern humans. Ongoing, a second younger species, Aurorin tugenesis, is also a relatively recent discovery found in 2000. There are several specimens of Aurorin. It is known whether Aurorin was a human ancestor, but this possibly has been ruled out. A third genus, Ardipithecus, was discovered in the 1990s, and the scientists who discovered the first fossil found that some other scientists did not believe the organisms to be biped. In the intervening years, several more specimens of Ardipithecus classified as 2 different species demonstrated that the organism was bipedal. Again, the status of this genus as a human ancestor is uncertain. Early hominins are Australopithecus. Australopithecus is a genus of hominin, and it is an important part of human evolution that evolved in eastern Africa approximately 4 million years ago and went extinct about 2 million years ago. This genus is of particular interest to us as it is thought that our genus Homo, evolved from a common ancestor shared with Australopithecus about 2 million years ago, after likely passing through some transitional states. Australopithecus had a number of characteristics that are some similar to the great apes than to modern humans. For example, sexual dimorphism was more exaggerated than in modern humans. Males were up to 50% larger than females, a ratio that is similar to that seen in modern gorillas and orangutans. In contrast, modern human males are approximately 15 to 20% larger than females. The brain size of Australopithecus relative to its body mass was also smaller than modern humans and most similar to the seen in the great apes. A key feature that Australopithecus had in common with modern humans was bipedalism, although it is likely that Australopithecus also spent time in trees. Hominin footprints similar to those of modern humans were found in Laetoli, Tanzania and dated to 3.6 million years ago. They showed that hominins at the time of Australopithecus were walking upright. Next, ongoing genus Australopithecus. There are a number of Australopithecus species which are often referred to as Australopiths. Australopithecus anamensis lived about 4.2 million years ago. More is known about another early species, Australopithecus afarensis, which lived between 3.9 and 2.9 million years ago. This species demonstrated a trend in human evolution, the reduction of the dentition and joint size. A. afarensis, Australopithecus afarensis, had smaller canines and molars compared to apes, but these were larger than those of modern humans. Its brain size was 380 to 450 cubic centimeters, approximately the size of a modern chimpanzee brain. It also had prognathing jaws, which is a relatively longer jaw than that of modern humans. In the mid 1970s, the fossil of an adult female afarensis was found in the Afar region of Ethiopia and dated to 3.24 million years ago. The fossil, which is informally called Lucy, is significant because it was the most complete Australopith fossil found with 40% of the skeleton recovered. This is the picture, the skull of Australopithecus afarensis, an early hominid that lived between 2 and 3 million years ago. Remember that modern humans were smaller with a sloped. This is a Lucy, most famous, nearly 40% complete skeleton in Ethiopia. This is Australopithecus afarensis. Early hominins genus Australopithecus ongoing. Australopithecus africanus lived between 2 to 3 million years ago. It had a slender build and was bipedal but had robust arm bones, unlike other early hominids. May have spent significant time in trees. Its brain was larger than that of Australopithecus afarensis in 500 cubic centimeters, which is slightly less than one-third the size of modern human brains. Two other species, Australopithecus bahr-el-ghazali and Australopithecus garhi, have been added to the roster of Australopiths in recent years. A dead-end genus Paranthropus. The Australopiths had a relatively slender build and teeth that were suited for soft food. In the past several years, fossils of hominids of a different body type have been found and dated to approximately 2.5 million years ago. These hominids of the genus Paranthropus were muscular, stood 1.3 to 1.4 meters tall, and had large grinding teeth. Their molars showed heavy wear, suggesting that they had a coarse and fibrous vegetarian diet, as opposed to the partially carnivorous diet of the Australopiths. Paranthropus includes Paranthropus robustus of South Africa and Paranthropus aethipithecus, Paranthropus boisei of East Africa. The hominids in this genus went extinct more than 1 million years ago, and are not thought to be ancestral to modern humans, but rather members of an evolutionary branch of the hominin tree that left no descendants. Early hominin genus Homo. The human genus Homo first appeared between 2.5 and 3 million years ago. For many years, fossils of a species called H. habilis, Homo habilis, were the oldest examples in the genus Homo, but in 2010, a new species called Homo gautengensis was discovered and may be older. Compared Australopithecus africanus, H. habilis had a number of features more similar to modern humans. H. habilis had a jaw that was less prognathic than the Australopiths and a larger brain at 600 to 750 cubic centimeters. However, Homo habilis retained some feature of older hominid species such as long arms. The name H. habilis means handyman, which is a reference to the stone tools that have been found with its remains. Homo erectus appeared approximately 1.8 million years ago. It is believed to have originated in East Africa and was the first hominid species to migrate out of Africa. Fossils of Homo erectus have been found in India, China, Java and Europe and were known in the past as Java man and Peking man. H. erectus had a number of features that were more similar to modern humans than those of H. habilis. Homo erectus was larger in size than earlier hominids, reaching heights up to 1.85 meters and weighing up to 65 kilograms, which are sizes similar to those of modern humans. Its degree of sexual dimorphism was less than earlier species, with males being 20 to 30% larger than females, which is close to the size difference seen in our species. H. erectus, Homo erectus had a larger brain than earlier species, 775 to 1100 cubic centimeters, which compares to the 1130 to 1260 cubic centimeters seen in modern human brains. Homo erectus also had a nose with downward facing nostrils, similar to modern humans rather than the forward facing nostrils found in other primates. Longer downward facing nostrils allow for the warming of cold air before it enters the lungs and may have been an adaptation to colder climates. Artifacts found in the fossil of Homo erectus suggest that it was the first hominin to use fire, hunt, and Homo erectus had a prominent brow and a nose that pointed downward rather than forward. Humans Homo sapiens. A number of species, sometimes called archaic Homo sapiens, apparently evolved from H. erectus starting about 5 lakhs years ago. These species include Homo heidelbergensis, Homo rhodensis, Homo neanderthalensis, Grimaldiman, Cro-Magnon, etc. These archaic Homo sapiens had a brain size similar to that of modern humans, averaging 1200 to 1400 cubic centimeters. They differed from modern humans by having a thick skull and a prominent brow ridge and a receding chin. Some of these species survived until then the Homo neanderthalensis used tools and may have worn clothing. This is the picture. Software made. Humans Homo sapiens. There is considerable debate about the origins of anatomically modern humans or Homo sapiens sapiens. As discussed earlier, H. erectus migrated out of Africa and into Asia and Europe in the first major wave of migration about 1.5 million years ago. It is thought that modern humans arose in Africa from H. erectus and migrated out of Africa about 1 lakh years ago in the second major migration wave. Then modern humans replaced Homo erectus species that had migrated into Asia and Europe in the first wave. The evolutionary timeline is supported by molecular evidence. One's approach to studying the origins of modern humans is to examine mitochondrial DNA, mtDNA from populations around the world. Because a fetus develops from an egg containing its mother's mitochondria, which have their own non-nuclear DNA. mtDNA is passed entirely through the maternal line. Mutations in mtDNA can now be used to estimate the timeline of genetic divergence. The resulting evidence suggests that all modern humans have mtDNA inherited from a common ancestor that lived in Africa about 160,000 years ago. Another approach to the molecular understanding of human evolution is to examine the Y chromosome, which is passed from father to son. This evidence suggests that conclusion, all primates species possess adaptations from climbing trees, as they all probably descended from tree dwellers. Although not all species are arboreal, other characteristics of primates are brains that are larger than those of other mammals, claws that have been modified into flattened nails, typically only one young per pregnancy, stereoscopic vision, and a trend toward holding the body upright. Primates are divided into two groups, prosimians and anthropods. Monkeys evolved from prosimians during the Oligocene epoch. Apes evolved from Catarrhini in Africa during the Miocene epoch. Apes are divided into the lesser apes and greater apes. Hominin includes those groups and gave rise to our species such as Australopithecus and Homo erectus, and those groups that can be considered cousins of humans, such as Neanderthals. Fossil evidence shows that hominins at the time of Australopithecus were walking upright. The first evidence of bipedal hominins. A number of species, sometimes called archaic Homo sapiens, evolved from Homo erectus approximately 5 lakhs years ago. They are considerable, etc. The next topic is about newly discovered fossil hominid. It is continued. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye and thank you from Storytellers and